Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lily. I am a 25-year-old zero-based cash budgeter and stuffer up in Maine. I have been doing the budget by paycheck method of cash budgeting for 4 years now, and this system has provided me with the tools to pay down debt and to purchase my home that I live in now with my boyfriend and our 3 dogs. And we do all things cash budgeting over here, so if any of that sounds like content that may interest you, I sincerely hope that you consider hitting that subscribe button and sending some support my way. But happy Money Monday, everyone. How are we doing? How are we feeling? I really don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I am feeling so much better. And now that I'm saying that, I just realized that I forgot to take my last dose of my medication, so I should probably take that. I think I missed it yesterday, whatever. But I am feeling a lot better, knocking on my wood cash tray off screen. But yeah, so also we are here for yet another debt update video. I know that I think I had like one last week and then another one like the next day. So a couple last week, but we do have some actual updates today to share with you guys that are going to affect the budget moving forward. So I figured might as well. So I'm going to go over those with you guys really quickly, and then we are going to budget out next week's income. So I'm going to jump right into it. I have a little stack of papers here, but we're only going to go through a couple. Just wanted to keep you guys updated. So long story short, I posted the last debt update video, and a lovely follower, Alana, I really hope that's how you pronounce her name, but she reached out to me and gave me so much information about credit transfers or balance transfers. I'm on Credit Karma almost every day, and it's constantly giving me advice and cards and things that I can do and blah, 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 but it can be overwhelming, and I don't always trust what information I'm given, and so I am so thankful and grateful that she reached out to me. If you're watching, thank you so much. She gave me so much information about credit transfers, percentages, all these different things, the process on how to do it. And she just eased my mind about the whole thing. So I really, really, really appreciate you, girl. So basically, if you are new, I've been on this debt journey for a few months now, basically starting in like February, I guess, is when I have on my chart here, but I have been working on paying down debt. I've paid off all of my medical bills. I paid off my high balance on my care credit card. I also paid off 2 other credit cards, and before all of this, I closed another one. I paid off and closed another credit card. I don't know if I talked about that, but I did do that before this whole journey. It's not even on the sheet. And so I have one credit card currently that has a balance. Moving forward, just to clarify, I will continue to use my care credit card because I use that for vet expenses. But my only credit card currently that has a balance is my Best Buy credit card. I did close that account, so I cannot purchase on the card anymore, but it has an incredibly high interest rate. It's like 29 point something % interest. It's crazy. So I had this plan to attack this debt and to pay it off in full by the end of January of next year. And basically, I was educated a lot more on balance transfers, credit balance transfers, and I did that. I applied for one. It might be a little bit premature to talk about it right now, but it will affect the budget moving forward. So I applied for and was approved for a Discover It card. After watching a couple more of Caleb Hammer's videos, I know he's like, oh, everyone has the Discover It card, blah, blah, blah. But I do have faith in myself and my ability to pay it off and not spend on it. So basically, it is an interest-free for 18 months credit card. It does have a very high interest rate after the fact if it's not paid off, but you already know we are going to pay it off before, and we're not going to spend on it either. We're going to set that in stone right now, you guys. The credit balance, the available credit that it gave me is kind of wackadoodle. Absolutely wackadoodle. It's $11,000. I'm not going to pretend like that's not terrifying with my history of credit, but we are going to hold ourselves accountable and we are going to be good with this. I'm going to not put the card in my wallet. So basically what I did was you plug in what the current balance is on your credit card. So I did that. It was like $6,912 and something cents, something like that. And so there is a 3% charge for the transfer. So it brought that up to like 7,100, something like that. And so that is the balance that is currently going to be due on my Discover It card. It's going to take around 2 weeks for them to pay off my Best Buy card. It's going to take about 2 weeks for that to transfer over, but they will pay that off to zero and I will close that card. So then I will start paying the interest-free monthly payments on the Discover It card. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what the minimum payment is going to be, but I have a feeling just based on my history with credit cards that it's going to be less than what it would take for me to pay it off in time, because they don't want you to, because they want the interest to hit, but we're not going to do that. So I added another line here for my Discover It card. So again, after talking with Alana, I really hope that's how you pronounce her name. But after talking with her, I was still going to be on the same track of paying this down, paying the same monthly payments as I had planned previously, like $700 to $1,100 a month to pay that off. And I was also focusing on my credit score, and she kind of helped me realize, like, for one, the credit score doesn't really matter right now. I'm not taking out another loan anytime soon. I own my house. Like, it's just a number at this point. And as long as I'm making these payments on time and more than the payment, more than the minimum monthly payment, my credit score should slowly continue to increase. So I'm not too worried about that. Also, the last time I did my condensing video, after that, literally within like 3 days, my score raised like 50 points. Like, it went from 600 something to well over 700. So it was in a better place when I applied for the card. So I'm not terribly worried about it. But yeah, and also again, why live day to day, month to month, week to week, whatever, for the next year, struggling and putting everything that I have towards debt and putting more each week towards debt out of my paycheck when there's no interest. So I'm not being penalized for it. I might as well take a couple extra months to pay it off and put significantly less toward it each month because there's no interest. So I'm not being hurt by that. And I do appreciate any and all concern in the comments, anyone saying, like they're scams or they're this or they're that, or all of your worries and everything. I get it. I do. But this is the plan that I now have, and I feel so much more comfortable with it. So I do. That's just what we're going to do. So basically, the credit transfer, I'm planning on doing $450 to $500 a month. Some months $550, depending on like if it's a magic month. Of course, I might put more here and there. I really don't know, but that is the plan as of right now. The same amount from my YouTube paychecks will be going to there as we move forward, but yeah. The only other thing is I did account for, depending on when that transfer goes through, there's literally like a 1 day difference, slight possibility that interest might accrue on the card before they pay it off. If that is the case, I did account for a little bit over what I think that will be, and we can pay that off weekly next month. But that's that. So that is the new updated debt paydown plan. I changed this to my Discover It plan. This should be paid off in July of next year. So it's a little over a year, which obviously it is what it is, but this is with current payments. If I put more toward it, of course, but this is with much more conservative monthly payments, and I feel so much more comfortable with this, you guys, so much more comfortable, and I'm so excited. So that is that. I'm not going to waste too much time going over it. And then I did make one of these all the way through July of next year, like the payoff, but I just printed out the next few months, May, June, and July of this year. But basically, these are weekly plans for my budget. Considering the fact that this first week of May, we overstuffed a lot. Like I put $250 towards Best Buy, which we're now turning into Discover It. And so we're not going to have to put as much. We'll be putting a little bit less than we normally would in mortgage and electric. And then I only have to stuff $17 the next few weeks, not including the last week because that has to do with our YouTube paycheck, in order to reach that $450. So I just feel a lot better about this, and hopefully the next few weeks, especially if our Etsy paycheck is a little bit lower like it was last week, we will have a little bit more wiggle room. So when it comes to my bills, this is what we will be budgeting this week. So I'm just going to set that off to the side, but yeah, overall, you guys, I am so stinking excited. We are going to pop right into the budget for this week, but I just wanted to get that out of the way because, again, I like to keep you guys super updated on my budget, on my debt journey, my plan, because I don't know, I just want to be as transparent as possible. And yeah, if anyone happens to be looking for any sort of inspiration for their budget, I'm not necessarily out here claiming that I'm teaching you guys the best way to do things, but I am showing you what I'm doing, and if it works, hopefully that can help you guys, or if it doesn't work, hopefully that can help you guys decide what you do with your budget if you happen to be looking for advice or taking any inspiration from it. So yeah, with that, we are going to get into the budget. This is week 2, paycheck number 2 for May. We're working between the 13th and the 19th. For our income, we have my full-time job, which is sitting at $600 this week. And then from Etsy, as of right this second, I am filming this at 8:47 Sunday night. Our current sales that should be delivered, oh my gosh, I should get paid out, is $303. So that should be $903 total. Of course, Etsy is untaxed, so we will get into all of that. Now, next, I just need to account for what we are leaving in the bank. I did already pop this up here, but my Ally and Roth IRA contributions total $30 a week, and then my subscriptions this week are I think it's just Planet Fitness that is pulling, and that's $23.06. I'm just leaving the 6 in the bank. So we have, okay, that is so funny. As I am filming this, we just got another order. So it was just for one item, I believe, but it does bring our total up just a little bit. So we are actually at $310. So $9.10. You know what? Every dollar counts. So, and who was that? Daisy. Thank you so much for your order. Okay, so in total, $53 it needs to stay in the bank. We're not going to pull it out in cash for the budget, just to account for those auto drafts. So 910 minus 53 is $857 total that we will actually have as our budgetable working income. So the next thing I'm going to do is my bills. So I am going to transfer over what we have listed on the other the sheet that I just showed you. So for mortgage this week, I need 131, internet I need 12, If you are new or unfamiliar with this system, when it comes to my bills and my debt and expenses and things like that, what I do is I take the total monthly amount that I need, and then I subtract how much I already have saved in that category, and then divide that number by the number of paychecks that I have left. So, for example, for my mortgage, I need $423. We already have $250 because we stuffed that last week. Sorry, $250 was a crazy number. We need $423. We already have $30 from last week. So divided by the 3 paychecks we have left, that's $131 a week. So that's how I found that. Okay, so electric, we need $72. If you would like a more in-depth but like a more in-depth budget with me, I do have plenty. I will link up in the cards the playlist of my budget with me's because they do go into a lot more detail about how I found these numbers. So heat and water and sewer are both getting $25. My phone, again, $60 a month divided by the 4 paychecks is $15. I stuffed 15 last week, so it's the same. My car insurance gets $25. My pet insurance, so again, my pet insurance is $50 a month. My portion of it, my boyfriend and I split that. So subtract the 13 that we stuffed on the first week is 37 divided by the 3 that we have left is 12.3. So I just round that up to 13. My Washville, registration, and Sam's Club, those all get $5 a week until they're fully funded, and then I'll just stop. So the Discover It, I need $450. This is where I got that $250. I need $450 by the end of the month. We stuffed $250 last week because we were still on track for the previous budget. So we need $200 left. 100 of that, actually, sorry, 150 of that is going to come from my YouTube paycheck, so I'm just going to take that away, and then divided by the 3 paychecks we have left is 16.6. So I'm going to stuff 17 this week. My care credit is getting $25 a week per my budget plan. My car payment, I did decide on $150 a month. We stuffed 38, so we have $112 left divided by the 3 paychecks is 37.3, so 38 again. $125 for my $500 student loans, and then $25 to pay my brother back this month. I know I'm breezing through these numbers. My bills and my debt are very much pre-planned, and so there isn't too much wiggle room. I already know what I'm putting in here. Again, I have other videos where I find those numbers and I show you guys that. Next, I am going to figure out how much I'm putting towards my business or back into my business. So for taxes, I will typically set aside between 25 and 30% depending on the size of the paycheck. This week I am going to do 28. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.28, which gives me $86. I'm just going to do 85. Etsy and YouTube and other things like Uber Eats, those are untaxed income. So it is very smart for you to take a percentage of that and put it aside for tax season, because if you are going to have to report that income, claim that income via a 1099 or anything else, then you will probably have to pay in. So it's good to not get stuck at that point. So I'm going to put $10 aside for shipping, $5 aside for stamps.com. That is a membership to print my shipping labels, and that is $21 a month. So I'll do 5 until the end of the month and then 6. Before I move forward, I wouldn't typically do this, but for right now, I am going to find this total. It should be 563, but I'm just going to add it again just for confirmation. You can never be too safe. Okay, see, I got 553, so maybe I just typed something in wrong. Okay, perfect. So 563. So I'm going to go up here and plug that 857 into my calculator, subtract the 563, subtract the 85 and the 15. So I have 194 left before putting things towards supplies, equipment, my gas and groceries, and then my sinking funds and savings. So we are still cutting it pretty close this week, but moving forward, I do know that other weeks are going to be a little bit easier. Other months are going to be a little bit easier. So I'm holding on to that for sure. But okay, so 194. I am going to put, let's do 30 for supplies and 5 to equipment. I'm okay with that. 159. Now I know I'm gonna do 40 for gas. I am on E right now, so I'm probably gonna have to get that like first thing in the morning. 40 for gas, we'll do 5 for miscellaneous as we normally would, and we're at 114. So let's do 65 for groceries. That is just for me, and we have plenty in the house. Austin helps out. We kind of share back and forth. So that's really just like my food, my contribution to groceries for this week. So 49. I am going to reach into my yearly savings challenge binder here. We are on May, and we have 2 10s and a 15. Please don't mind my nails. I know I need to redo them. So 2 10s and a 15. Let's do a 10 just to stay on track. I know it sucks, but 10. And then I'm going to put 9 into the baby binder just to clear that out. We have 30 left. And I think the smartest thing for me to do is probably to put it all towards bridesmaid, because this week I do need to order the shirts and the sublimation paper that I'm going to be using to make the shirts for the bachelorette party. And I'm also going to be making a sign for the bridal shower in July, so I just want to make sure that I have enough saved for everything. My dress did come in though, by the way. I haven't tried it on yet, but it did come in, so that's exciting. Okay, $30. Let's do 20 into bridesmaid. We'll spread it out just a little bit. $10. Let's see. Aria has a groom on Tuesday. We have 150. I'm going to end up spending 50 of that, so I could probably put that there. We also need to build back car care, but not like we're going to make that big of an impact this week. Household could use some. I had to pull from there. Okay, let's do 5 into the dogs and 5 into household. I'm okay with that, I think. So 40 plus 65 plus 5 is 110 going into our wallet, 25, 30 going into sinking funds, 19 into savings, and then 85, 15, and 35, so 135 going into business. So just to check our math, we have 600 plus 310 is 910, minus 53 is 857, minus 110 going into our wallet, 563 going into bills and debt, 135 going into our business, 30 going into sinking funds, and 19 going into whatever, I hit the wrong button, but 19 going into our savings gives us $0 left over, which is our zero-based budget, meaning that we did do this correctly. So all of the money that we made this week has a job. It says designated to a certain place. And yeah, so I will continue to donate plasma. That is about $85 a week. Because of the schedule, I get paid that at the end, like later at the end of the week. I can't go until the 14th, and I'm filming this on the 11th. So I have, I think Wednesday and Friday are the days that I donate. So that's just extra money. If I need more money for food, maybe I'll buy some of the sublimation paper for the shirts on there. But yeah, with that being said, though, that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a yellow heart in the comments to show your support for the channel. And of course, subscribe. We are creeping up to 14,000 subscribers, so that is super exciting. If you are still here, thank you. I wanted to remind you guys, one, hope you guys had a good Mother's Day. I know you guys are seeing this on Monday, but today is Mother's Day, so I hope that you guys had a good Mother's Day with your mother or as a mother. And also, quick reminder that my Etsy shop is on sale. It is on sale until, I believe, the 14th, so Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just celebrating Mother's Day, just extended a little bit. So if you're interested in anything that I sell in my shop, it is linked in the description of every video. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for sticking around with me, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, week, month, year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.